So let's talk a little bit about beauty. So in light of the core statement that we've been riffing over, so to speak, all the implications of the core statement which we've been discussing, the core statement being that the absolute truth or God or consciousness is alone the reality. God alone is, that is the core statement, and we have seen that the entirety of the cosmos or the universe or manifestation or creation is that absolute one reality taking the form of the entirety of creation. So, whatever it is that you consider beautiful is the beauty of that absolute truth, basically. Because it is appearing as any form that you perceive, and the beauty of any form that you perceive is the beauty of the absolute truth. So, put together the beauty of all beautiful objects that you have ever experienced. The sum total of the beauty of every flower on planet Earth, every seashell, every bird, every precious stone, every beautiful girl, every star, every planet in the universe, the aurora borealis, rainbows, rivers, trees, leaves, insects, lions, tigers, reptiles, snakes, lizards, fish, marine life, fireflies, the boundless beauty of nature, the overflowing, tremendous beauty of nature is simply the beauty of the absolute truth. As it is said in Indian philosophy, Satyam Shivam Sundaram, which is that Shiva or the absolute truth is basically beauty. That's similar to another line by the poet Keats, if I'm not mistaken, or Yeats, I'm not sure whether it's Keats or Yeats. The poem includes the line beauty is truth, truth, beauty. That is all you need to know on earth. So, in fact, the absolute truth is beyond even beauty. It is perfection, which is beauty taken to its absolute extreme. But since the absolute truth has been divided by the absolute truth into the self and the other, we can only relate to the other. And the absolute truth minus the self is the other, basically. So, when you remove a particular part from the whole, the result is slight imperfection, because a tiny part of what is has been subtracted from what is when you remove the self from the absolute truth, when the other remains. So you're in a relationship with the other, the so-called beloved. That which you're in love with is the other, and the other is perfection minus self, basically. So that is slight imperfection, and slight imperfection is beauty, basically. To see that every rose has a thorn, there are spots on the moon, for example. Every individual human being has some imperfections, because, as we've discussed, slight imperfection is a property of every form in the cosmos, because it is not any form which is not that form, basically. So, the juice of the relationship between self and other is beauty, because beauty is basically slight imperfection that adds to the attractiveness of the object that you consider beautiful when it is slightly imperfect. So, the slight imperfection of the other in this case is the absence of you from the totality, and the totality is perfect. But when you dissolve into the other, when the self and other unite, that is yoga or the attainment of perfection. which is the absolute truth. So the when you're a devotee of the other, which is the most joyous way to live, you are in the supreme love affair, but basically between self and other, the supreme love affair of devotion, the juice of divine intoxication, fueled by the resplendent beauty of the absolute. So beauty is a property. Beauty is a property of the absolute truth. The absolute truth is the source of all beauty, the motherlode of beauty. Beauty of such radiance that it silences the mind.